The year is the present day. We are in Pyongyang, the gleaming, eerily empty capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, the most secretive country on Earth. Beyond its borders, the world has watched in fascination and horror for 3 generations as a single family has ruled this nation like personal property. They are worshipped as living gods. Their faces hang on every wall. Every adult citizen wears a pin bearing their portraits over the heart. Outside the capital, North Korea has known famines so severe that hundreds of thousands of its own people starve to death within living memory, while political prisoners still vanish into vast labor camps from which almost no one returns. And yet, inside a ring of mountains and walls in the heart of this hermit kingdom lies a world almost no outsider has ever seen. A world of imported French wines, Swiss luxury watches, private theme parks, and palaces stocked like the homes of European billionaires. You are not an ordinary North Korean. You belong to the Kim family. You are the absolute pinnacle of the most isolated dynasty on Earth. Using documented information drawn from the testimony of high-level defectors who served the regime, including a personal chef of the late Kim Jong-il, former senior officials who fled the country, leaked customs and shipping records of luxury goods, and the careful reporting of journalists and intelligence analysts over decades, we have reconstructed a single day inside the Kim family's hidden world. Step past the soldiers at the gate, but understand the founding paradox of this regime. It is officially a workers' paradise, an austere communist republic, and yet the family that rules it lives like the absolute monarchs of old, surrounded by an opulence their starving subjects cannot even imagine. In Rome, the ultimate luxury was silence. In Versailles, it was being seen. Here, the highest luxury is the most dangerous of all in the modern world: total, ruthlessly enforced invisibility. Your homes do not appear on any map. Your motorcades shut down entire cities. Your personal life is sealed behind layers of secrecy so absolute that the country itself does not officially admit how many of you exist. Your power rests on a perfect illusion painted for the outside world, and on a different, equally perfect illusion painted for your own people, while you, behind the curtain, live a third, hidden life that almost no one alive has been allowed to see and survive to describe. You wake in one of dozens of residences scattered across the country. Defectors and analysts have identified palatial estates ringed by security perimeters in Pyongyang, by the seaside at Wonsan in the mountains, and at remote rural retreats. Foreign visitors who have been admitted to certain official guest houses have described marble floors, vast chandeliers, polished wood paneling, and rows of staff who appear and vanish without a sound, with no expense visibly spared. Behind the walls of these compounds lie things no ordinary North Korean will ever see: swimming pools, private cinemas stocked with thousands of foreign films, indoor shooting ranges, garages full of imported luxury cars, even, by some accounts, private amusement rides and water slides built for the family's pleasure. Beyond the gates of these compounds, in cities and villages just a few miles away, ordinary citizens often live in homes without reliable electricity, heat, or running water, in a country where the lights regularly go out across the whole nation at night, as seen plainly in famous satellite photographs. You are dressed, and even your wardrobe is a calculated political message. The reigning leader appears most often in dark suits cut in a deliberately austere, vaguely revolutionary style, sometimes in a plain worker's jacket like that worn by his grandfather, the founder of the dynasty. The intention is unmistakable. I am one with the people. I am the inheritor of the Great Revolution. But the suits themselves are tailored to perfection, made of fine imported fabrics. Family members have been photographed wearing wristwatches by Swiss luxury houses that retail for tens of thousands of dollars, handbags from elite European labels, and designer eyeglasses worth more than many North Korean families earn in a year. The female members of the family, in particular, have been seen carrying handbags and wearing brooches priced beyond the comprehension of their own citizens, expensive details that observers around the world catalogue frame by frame, from rare official appearances. Your wardrobe says Workers' Republic. Your watch says billionaire. By mid-morning, the work of being a god king begins, and it is unlike anything in any other modern country on earth. For you do not merely rule a state, you are the center of a state religion in which your own family are the deities. The official ideology, called Juche, glorifies your grandfather as the eternal founding leader, your father as the great general, and you as the latest divinely gifted heir. Every school day across the country begins with the children bowing to portraits of your ancestors. Every household by law displays those same portraits, cleaned with a special cloth, hung on a specially designated wall, and inspected by visiting officials to ensure they remain spotless. When citizens marry, they pose before statues of your dynasty. When they vote, there is only one candidate. When they speak of you, they use elaborate honorifics. You are not merely a president or a king. You are the living focus of a national religion, and the price for any insult against your image, even an accidental one, can be a sentence to the camps for an entire family. And here lies the dark engine of your power. Across the country, North Korea operates a network of political prison camps so vast that satellite imagery has mapped them, where, according to extensive testimony from survivors, entire families can be imprisoned for the alleged disloyalty of a single relative, a practice known as guilt by association reaching across 3 generations. The United Nations, after years of investigation, has documented this system as one of the gravest patterns of human rights abuses in the modern world. Behind the glittering compounds, behind the smiling portraits, behind the parades, this system of fear is what allows you to live as a living god in a country where almost everyone else lives in obedient terror. By late morning, you turn to the strange business of running a state economy that has been crippled for decades by sanctions, isolation, and its own design. Most ordinary trade with the outside world is restricted or forbidden, and yet, somehow, luxury goods keep arriving for you. Reporting and defector testimony describe a special section of the regime, sometimes called by analysts Office 39, which has long been understood to manage the leader's personal hard currency reserves and acquire forbidden luxury goods on his behalf, working through front companies, trusted couriers, and intermediaries scattered across foreign cities. Through these channels, the regime has been reported to import fine wines, premium spirits, gourmet foods, designer fashion, electronics, and luxury cars, often in defiance of international sanctions. Foreign intelligence services have detected shipments of expensive yachts, top-tier watches, and even imported pets. While ordinary citizens have lived through years of officially organized, arduous marches and rationed food, your kitchens have never lacked for any delicacy the world produces. Even your family is treated as a strategic asset of the state. The Kim bloodline is described in official propaganda as the so-called Paektu bloodline, named for the sacred mountain at the country's border, and held up as uniquely entitled to rule. Marriages, romances, and the children of family members are kept under intense secrecy, and details surface only in fragments from defectors and foreign intelligence. Younger relatives have been quietly schooled abroad under false names, including at elite Swiss boarding schools, and then brought home to take their place in the system. The leader's own children have rarely been seen in public, their very existence kept deliberately vague. And the regime has a long, brutal history with the family members it does not trust. The current leader's older half-brother was killed in a Malaysian airport in a 2017 attack with the powerful nerve agent VX, an event publicly investigated and confirmed by multiple governments and journalists around the world. Within this family, blood does not guarantee safety. It can be a death sentence. In the afternoon, you may travel, and even your movements are a marvel of paranoid logistics. Reporting has long described the current leader's preference for armoured trains and elaborate motorcades over commercial flights, especially for trips abroad. When the train rolls out for foreign summits, it travels through specially secured corridors with food, security, and even, by reported accounts, a personal toilet carried along so that nothing the leader leaves behind can be analysed by foreign intelligence services. Inside the country, your personal motorcade of armoured Mercedes sedans, vehicles that themselves have been the subject of international sanctions investigations into how they reached you at all, sweeps through emptied streets with full motorcycle escorts. Air travel and helicopter flights to your remote villas are conducted under conditions of intense secrecy. You are perhaps the most carefully protected human being on the planet. And then there is what you do for pleasure, and here the contrast with your nation grows almost unbearable. Reporting and defectors describe ski trips to a vast custom-built resort, jet ski outings at private seaside compounds, horseback rides, and the meticulous oversight of construction projects, including a glittering capital skyline of modernist apartment towers and water parks designed to impress foreign visitors. The regime has, at various points, built and curated entire pleasure complexes for the family's enjoyment, even as serious food shortages have continued to be reported in parts of the country. And in the evening comes a feast unlike any other in this entire history. The personal chef who served the late Kim Jong-il, a Japanese man who eventually defected and wrote openly about his experiences, has described in interviews and books a kitchen that prepared meals from ingredients flown in from all over the world. Fresh fish flown from Japan, prime beef from Denmark, fine French cognac and Bordeaux wines, melons from Asia, caviar, fresh fruit out of season. The chef has recounted being personally dispatched abroad to buy specific delicacies that the leader desired. The family has been reported to enjoy famously expensive Western cheeses, sushi prepared by trained chefs, and rare imported spirits in a country where, in some years, ordinary households have been reduced to wild grasses and corn husks during the worst food shortages. Guests, sometimes including foreign visitors or trusted officials, are served by silent waiters in lavishly furnished dining rooms, while singers and musicians, the elite performing troops of the state, provide entertainment. No imperial banquet, in any other entry in this entire history, sits beside a comparable misery just beyond the palace walls. Late at night, you withdraw into one of your residences, watched over by guards who themselves are watched by other guards. You command the loyalty of a million-strong army. You control nuclear weapons. You preside over a state religion in which you are worshipped as a god. And yet your thoughts, like every absolute ruler's eventually, turn to the question of what happens next. For the Kim dynasty has done what no other communist regime in history has ever managed. It has handed power down, father to son, 3 times in a row. Every great absolute ruler in this series has faced the same problem and solved it in his own way. The pharaoh built a tomb. The Roman senator commissioned a roadside monument. The Ottoman sultan raised a mosque. Your family has built something different and stranger. The bodies of the founding leader and his son have been preserved and placed on display in a vast memorial palace where citizens file past in carefully orchestrated grief, bowing before the embalmed figures of men they are taught are eternal. Statues of the leaders rise across the country. Their birthdays are national holidays. Their writings are quoted in classrooms. Their portraits hang in every home. The current leader stands as the heir to that immortality machine, the latest face on the country's living religion, knowing that one day his own image will join those silent figures in the great memorial hall, gazed upon by a nation taught to weep at his memory. Where every other elite in this series sought eternity through tombs, temples, or art, your family has sought it by binding their dynasty into the soul of an entire country, so completely that the nation itself becomes their monument. That was a glimpse into the life of North Korea's ruling elite, the only entry in this entire series whose subjects are still alive and whose palaces are still occupied. A life of imperial luxury wrapped inside a workers' revolution, of nuclear weapons, motorcades, and Swiss boarding schools, of imported French wine in a country where ordinary families have repeatedly faced famine. They are the strangest dynasty in the modern world, a family that has built a kingdom inside a republic and a religion inside an officially atheist state, ruling a nation of more than 25 million people as though it were their personal inheritance. The story of this regime is not finished. The Kim dynasty is, even now, charting its next chapter. Behind walls, almost no outsider is permitted to cross. History has remembered the pharaohs, the emperors, and the kings of the past, the lost gods of dead civilizations. But somewhere in Pyongyang tonight, the lights are burning in palaces no map will show, and a living god is still sitting down to dinner.